like 9 years old or something, 10 years old, and I wanted to, I think I was living in England at the time, and I heard a song that had saxophone on it, and I said to my mum and dad, I really like the sound of that, can I get a saxophone? They went to the music shop, saxophone very expensive. So they came back with a nylon string guitar. I said, there you go. I said, that's not what I really asked for, but
Wow, okay.
yeah, it worked out well because guitar is probably more useful than saxophone, more applications in music, but it was just very good parenting by my parents, who just looked at it as a financial thing, but it worked out great. Of course, a lot. I mean, when I was young, around that time, the song on the radio that was very popular, I think, was this thing with... So I got very into Martin Knopfler, first of all. So that was, because in the 80s, not a lot of guitar was going on, the late 70s, early 80s, before all the shredding came out. So hearing this really beautiful, I was like, oh, what's that sound, you know? So gravitated towards Martin Knopfler, first of all, Eric Clapton, Carlos Santana. My mum was a big Pink Floyd fan, so it was that, all that stuff. And it was all the guitar players that played like, very singing guitar players. It was before the Steve Vais and all the shredders came along and ruined it for everybody there. A lot.
Just on top of it.
Okay. Well, mostly it's happened. I played for a few big artists in Australia before I moved to Malaysia, but I moved to Malaysia 25 years ago. So in Australia, I played with guitar virtuoso Tommy Emmanuel. He was like my sifu at the time. Yeah, he inspired all of us. He let us all get up on stage and play with him. So he was a great influence. Other Australian guitar players also, like Ian Moss and some other ones. When I moved to Asia, I started playing with a few of the Malay artists. Played for Siti Nurhaliza a few times over the last 20 years, including when we went to London, M. Nasir, Ramli Sarab, lots of Malay artists. And then I got into the Chinese world and been playing for the same guys for 20 years, like David Tao, Wang Lihom, Ame, Jackie Chung, all the really good, JJ, all the good ones, you know. So I've been very lucky because you can get a gig once, but if they call you back time and time again, it probably means you're doing a reasonable job. Otherwise they would call someone younger and handsomer. And then whenever David Foster comes down, he does these shows in Asia, David Foster and Friends. So I've been playing every time he comes down for the last 10 years. Luckily, he's called me. And that's quite an honor because he's very, he can be very fierce with musicians. He's famous for being a very strict music director, but he obviously thinks I'm okay. So since playing with him, I've got to play with Babyface, Richard Marx, Boyz II Men, Michael Bolton, so many great artists, you know. So that's all through playing with him. There's probably a few I'm forgetting as well, but no, it's been great. And in between that, I've been doing my own music as well, so it's been very nice, a nice experience over the last 20 years. it was probably through our mutual friend Sham Kamikaze, great Malaysian guitar player.
Yes.
I think we were rehearsing for a show and he was using one of Ray's guitars. And Ray came along and said, are you endorsed, having any endorsement with anyone? At the time I wasn't really. I'd been doing stuff with Yamaha, but nothing really for the last few years. So he said, would you like to work on a guitar? I said, sure. And we just sort of took it from there, really. And I'd been playing Strats, and I had, Les Paul type guitars, SGs, whatever. I'd never had a telly, so I said, if we're going to do it, I don't know anything about guitars, specifications, so just make me a telly shape, because I thought telly shapes looked cool. But with fairly strong pickups. So it's somewhere in between a Strat and like a humbucker guitar. So he worked on this thing and it sounded great, and it worked really well, and I've been using it ever since. I've used it for, like I say, for Michael Bolton, for David Foster, currently on tour with David Tao, JJ Lin, used it also for Wong Lee Hom, a bunch of other people. So it's been my main guitar for the last few years, and it's been fantastic. Okay, so upcoming as far as for the next year, for 2025, I'm still on David Tao's tour, Soul Power 2, which is kind of like a second part of a tour that I did with him in 2003. So I'm the only remaining member from the original band. Got a really great new lineup though, with Derek Sepniel also on guitar, another great guitar player. So we've got shows throughout the rest of the year. Also rejoining JJ Lin for his tour. And between those two, it takes up most of the weekends. And I've got a couple of little shows coming up as well, a couple of things with Wong Lee Hom, and a few other little one-offs here and there. And in between that, I do my own music. I've got my own band. It's called Bourbon Lassie. So I used to be in an acoustic world music band called Akasha, I kind of formed. And just playing a kind of Indian kind of music, world music, this kind of stuff. And then we thought we'd blend it with electric guitar stuff. So I play with my electric trio, which is me, John Thomas, and Gideon Yogan, two brilliant Malaysian musicians, and combine that with sitar and tabla. So now we play this kind of like heavy blues rock fusion band, but with Indian elements. So that's my fun music that I do in my spare time. We've got some shows coming up with that too. So thanks very much. Cheers.